Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you from wherever you're watching us. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Sokinyi. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. Well, I'm joined the Professor Herman Manyora here. How are you, sir?
Good.
Yes. Still looking at how things are taking place and moving on within this country, but then something shocking is taking place.
Which country? There was a country.
There was a country. Yes. That is the kind of position that you hold right now. Yes. But of course, we are still Kenyans, and we are still here to witness everything taking place in the country. And we do trust and believe that the country is being driven towards the right direction. Correct. I believe you hold the same aspiration.
Yeah. We are doing well.
We're doing well.
Yeah.
Quite okay.
Extremely well.
With all these scandals and everything taking place in the country.
We are used to them.
Now, let's get to something here that is, of course, affecting all of us, especially the young people. The other time I looked at, I was watching news and I looked at what was taking place at the G4S headquarters. Definitely, the number of young people who trooped in there to look for work. Definitely. Positions, these guys needed like 200 positions also. Then you see the youths go there in their thousands, and then you're expecting, you're wondering, what is this that we're facing as a country right now? The rate of unemployment is so high, and this is the problem that even the government is alive to. The president has always been there saying very well that he recognizes the fact that we've got this problem in the country. And I remember there's that video that has been trending where I was asking wangapi wana kazi hapo nyuma wakati ambapo it was actually campaigning, or rather not campaigning but voting for the finance bill, especially the housing levy, the 3% that I was talking about before it was reduced to 1.5%. A number of young people are saying that the government right now is taking them for granted. Do you buy that idea?
Not taking them for granted. There was a country.
There was a country.
And the number of unemployed people in this country is itself just danger. Just looking at the state of unemployment in this country.
Yes, definitely.
That alone can convince you we don't have a government. We have not had one for a long time. Maybe we have never had one. You cannot live in a country with this level of unemployment. Nobody is safe. Nothing is safe. So it's even these people who are stealing left, right, and piling billions, they are not safe. It's just a matter of time when it will no longer be safe to stay in Karen, Lavington, and Runda. It will not be safe, Mudaiga. It's just a matter of time. It's not Manyora saying. This is just there for everybody to see. It's not sustainable. You cannot have these levels of unemployment anywhere in the world and you have a government, you have a country. No, you can't have a government, you can't have a country. Let me tell you, these people will just take over everything in this country and we will all regret the state of unemployment. And we have killed employment very deliberately. Very deliberately. You can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. I never had anybody campaigning talking about those things. They kept lying to us they will create jobs.
Definitely, you're talking of the unemployment crisis that is in the country, and of course you recognize the fact that it's there. Yes. The same words are spoken by the president. What is then the difference between what the president is saying and what you're saying?
The president has the power to do something and is not doing so. When he speaks, it is tragic because he has the power. Let me tell you, for example, how many jobs will you create if you stopped China from importing rubbish into this country? How many jobs are those? Just say, from today, you Ujinga Tutaki. Period. You Chinese people come here and do construction, get contracts. Don't sell fish in this country. Uhuru said it. He was told, shut up, and he kept quiet. Yeah, he was asking Chinese, how can you bring fish here? He was told, shut up, and he coiled. Why don't I have a president I can be proud of, who can tell Chinese, you are getting contracts worth billions of dollars in Africa, billions of dollars in Kenya. Keep off small things. I don't want to see you bringing fish in this country. This counterfeit products, electronics, all the rubbish which you can't even sell in your own country. None of them will dock in Mombasa. Hakuna takataka itatoka kwa meli Mombasa kuingia hapa.
Okay.
How many jobs will you create? So it's not even lip service. It's just tragic. Butter closed the other day. If every Kenyan who wears a shoe was wearing a shoe made by butter, how many jobs are those? This is the home of skins and hides. It is us who have skins and hides. It should be Kenya which should be producing designer shoes. It should be Kenyans who should be producing a shoe. If you put on in New York, people fear you. They say made in Kenya. So this is the home of wildlife. So animals are dying.
Don't you then think that the
if we made shoes from some of these animals which have died, designer shoes, $1 million, one pair of shoes.
So meaning
even just ordinary shoes. How many cows do we slaughter in a year? My friend, if you go to Mombasa, you can see live animals inaingia kwa tumbo ya meli. Live animals. The first time I saw it, I shed tears. I'm telling you for a fact. I shed tears. People ask me, what's wrong with you, young man? I was young. What's wrong with you? I said, surely. You mean we can export animals, living animals? I just shed tears. Because how many jobs are you exporting when you export live animals? How many jobs are those? So these guys are paying lip service. Nobody cares about unemployment in this country. They're lying to you. Even this housing thing, I have said it repeatedly. I want to be proved wrong. I'll be the happiest Kenyans if Ruto proved me wrong. If they put up 200,000 houses, of course they will not.
Definitely. I want us to
let me just say this, then you say. Let's assume they put up even 50,000. Let me see them fabricating doors. Welding. Nione moja. All those doors will come from China. And the windows. Continue what you are saying.
Yeah, before you get there, meaning you were saying that actually the government is aware of certain steps that they should take in order to end this kind of crisis that we're witnessing with our young people here. They've just decided to play politics with it.
Correct. Sugar, for example. The sugar you take is not from Kenya. People have deliberately strangled the sugar industry, killed, so that they may bring in cheap sugar to make billions. And the government is aware. So which government is this that is talking about employment? This is a joke. No government has ever been serious about employment in this country. We need a paradigm shift in thinking. We need to think about the people we make president and members of parliament, MCAs and governors and senators. If we don't do that, we are doomed. People have deliberately killed the sugar industry, which would employ hundreds of thousands of people, directly and indirectly. They have killed it. By now in the sugar sector, we should be doing modernization. We should be competing Madagascar in production of sugar in terms of how many tons per acre. That's where we should be today. We should be doing 2 million acres of sugar in the Tana Delta. We should be the lead supplier of sugar in Comesa now. Instead, just to put money in stupid people's pockets, we have killed the sugar industry. Then the same people can talk about employment. Excuse me? Employment? Which employment are we talking about?
But of course, the president has always exploited this issue so much. And while addressing, definitely talking about the housing program that is now having, definitely we are talking of affordable housing. I wonder whether it's also slum upgrading. Of course, there's been some sort of confusion therein, because a number of people are even confused. I even saw the deputy president talking of people, they want to get away with, do away with what is taking place in Kibra. I also saw the women rep definitely for Nairobi County saying that she voted yes because she wants to see an end to what is taking place. Definitely.
I wonder, is Esther Passaris capable of dreaming?
Anyway, anybody can dream. But then, do you think that perhaps the kind of strategy that now the president is actually taking will bring some sort of a viable solution to the problem that we have at hand?
Nothing. I've told you, I've explained to you. Let us grant. Let the impossible happen and they construct 200,000 houses in a year. It is impossible. But let's say it is possible because William Ruto is a hard-working man. Let's say it is possible. It will not create employment. Itakuwa kazi ya mkono. I'll give you an example of the University of Nairobi Towers. You know my office on 3rd floor. when you stand in the window and watch behind there, that's where the Chinese camped. That was where they were staying. You know, a lot of them can stay in a small place. That's where the things were coming. And I witnessed with my eyes that what went into building that tower. Almost nothing came from this country.
So all of them are imported.
There were panels. Kwa hivyo ukifikiri watu wataleta mchanga, ulete mchanga hapo malori, hakuna. Ni panels wanajoin tu. The cement that was used to construct that, I could see it being offloaded. You see it is even written in Chinese. They didn't buy it from Kenya. The metals, the what do you call this? The steel, whatever. They were being offloaded from Mombasa, coming from China.
These are things that we
they are even strange. They don't look like what we have in this country. If you reproduce the same, and I have no doubt in my mind, if you hit 200,000, it will be so attractive that the Chinese will supply everything. Including these houses. You'll see, oh, modern ways of putting houses, panels are now better, precast, everything is precast. Sijui hata floor hakuna kukoroga, ni precast, wana join, sijui nini. Everything that will go into constructing those houses. But the moment you hit 200,000 houses, even 50,000, it's very attractive business. How many doors are those? One house has perhaps like how many doors? 7, an average of 7 doors. Outside, bedroom, toilet, almost 10 doors. They will all come from China because that will be beautiful. 10 times 200,000. How many doors are those? How much business is that? So plus windows. Where I will beat you. How many doors are those? How many windows are those? You are joking. And none of these people, a country that can't tell China off when they are bringing fish, does not have what it takes to tell them off when they bring those doors and windows. They have already seen, they have already forced, they can see. Wanatufunika macho. They are saying we shall introduce a tax. There will be a tariff of 30% to discourage people from bringing material. Those guys will go around it. They say you cannot come to work in Kenya unless the skills you are bringing are not in Kenya. These guys have a way of going around it. They brought welders for some project. Then somebody was asking, you mean we don't have welders in Kenya? I said, hapana, isi welder kawaida, hii underwater welding. Wewe nyinyi mnacheza na inchi. Hii inchi inaongozwa na watu bure.
Well, I do get you.
What I'm saying is something that is in public domain. Uhuru Kenyatta told off the Chinese about fish. They pointed a finger at him and he kept quiet. Today, if you go in a restaurant in Nairobi, chances that the fish you are eating is from China is 8 out of 10.
Sure.
Yeah. Those of us who know fish, we know this is Chinese fish. Recently, I went to buy fish. We did it with bush.
And you can.
You heard about it.
And you can.
I told this is Chinese fish.
And you can
right
prove those
here.
allegations.
Yeah.
You can prove that.
But even if but how much Chinese fish is being imported here?
Okay.
Today, in the papers yesterday, where my friend, even on Twitter, they are saying Kenya has introduced a variety of tilapia that is going to give the Chinese a fight. What does that tell you? It tells you there's so much Chinese fish here. There's so much Chinese rubbish in this country that you need a president with the courage to tell them we are killing our jobs. Please, hapa hapana. Kujeni mjenge nyumba kubwa kubwa, barabara, daraja. Lakini vitu kama samaki bwana. Shule, wacha wajaluo wauza samaki.
No. Let me get you. Despite, of course, I do believe that our president is a very sharp guy and he understands all these things that you're saying.
I agree with you.
But why is it that despite his understanding of all that is taking place with the crisis that we have as young people in this country, he still went ahead to use the term unemployment as the only kind of justification to the housing problem. Yet he knows very well that he's not going to solve it.
It's not there.
Because
hakuna kazi itatoka kwa nyumba.
I understood.
There's no job.
He said by the way, he said that we don't even want to have that idea of perhaps solving the housing crisis. What we want is to solve the job crisis. And
let me tell you.
And then he's bringing up an idea of killing one bird.
Even today.
With 2 stones.
This mabati metokea mpya, so versatile, sijui what they are, this sort of nice looking mabatis. You go to the producers to buy, they will tell you 8 weeks. So they are not local. So what tells you the Mudavadis to be used on that housing project will not come from outside the country? Everything will come from outside. A few miserable Kenyans will go there and do manual kazi ya mjengo. Then there will not be many, because the world is moving into precast, into fabricated panels, joining them. Nyumba is up. That is what these houses will look like. And they will bring no job to this country.
In conclusion, as we definitely wind up this conversation here, we're looking at the Kazi Mtaani project. That one is not there. I saw the other time in this kind of budget that was read, there is no amount of money that has been allocated to the NYS, and young people are languishing in abject poverty, drinking themselves to death. You've seen what is taking place in central Kenya. Of course, the deputy president having to talk of young people who do not even have any job. And I wonder, by the way, I wonder how the young people here are jobless, but they drink like like nothing else. Definitely those people are down there. And they're being brought down with those kind of illicit brews that they're drinking there. These people are jobless. And then, despite the government being aware of all this, they still go ahead and play politics with the lives of young people in this country.
Even talking NYS.
Can it get...
You cannot create jobs through those stupid things of NYS or Kazi Mtaani. That's a joke. You see, labor must come with dignity. You get what I'm saying? The dignity of knowing that your sweat is contributing to making something, to creating. That's what gives labor its dignity. But when you give young men, some of them with a college education, a slasher, just walking on the roads at Kazi Mtaani, is an insult. There's no dignity in that. But the same young people, if you put them on a project, you are putting up a health center. They are contributing in one way or the other. Even if it's manual, they will be proud of what they are doing. But when you take them, when they mwakote makaratasi kwa barabara, mnakata nyasi, it's an insult on the intelligence of these Kenyans. And therefore, we must think seriously about creation of jobs. And I hold this to be true, if I may quote the American whatever, that we do not have people in this country that we can't employ. In fact, if we started employing people, if we created jobs in this country, we will begin importing labor. We will need so many people, we will not have them. Yeah. Another thing you must know. This country has the capacity to export hundreds of thousands of skilled labor. Hundreds of thousands of. Wacha hii ujinga ya Uarabuni, hii utumwa. No, this slavery we send our girls into in the Gulf states. No. There are countries in this country that can do with skilled labor which we have here. There are countries in Africa here and elsewhere where if your car broke down in a place like Nyeri, the Nyeri of that country, the Kakamega of that country, you can't get somebody to fix it. There are countries where, and I've been places like those, where even to test malaria, just simple malaria test, you cannot do it in a dispensary, in a health center. There are nothing like that. You'll go to the equivalent of a county hospital to get a malaria test, which we do in the villages in this country. And therefore, what I'm trying to say, there are countries that need skilled and semi-skilled labor. If we had people who are not preoccupied with eating and making money, if I was in charge of the Minister of Labor, I will work with the vocational training, TVETs. I will create a stream of Kenyans getting decent jobs outside. Decent jobs. Where a young man works for 10 years, he comes back here, you can't compare him to even the most educated in this country, because he will come back and start his business, he will buy his house, he'll build up his home and start a small business. Those openings are there.
Definitely.
Everybody we put in the office goes there to make money and to eat, to cut deals, not to think for the country. This country, as we summarize, is in dire need of thinking. In dire need of
thinking.
And if the president is not willing to provide this country with thinking, with men and women who can think through our problems, then we are doomed. We are doomed, I'm telling you. The CIS paradigm must change.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need thinkers in this country definitely to help us solve this crisis that we are witnessing of young people, multiple of them, or millions of them outside here unemployed and are being brought down by drugs and other sort of addictions. We do hope and pray that our president and the entire leadership of this country is listening to us and viewing us at this particular moment. And we do hope that they will be serious, at least for once, and stop playing politics with the lives of young people in this country. Definitely, if you are watching us for the first time, then please subscribe to our channel here, and please do not fail to tune in to some of our programs that will be coming up live. Jadel Kabiro will be here, and of course Richard Mwenje with Siasa Brigade and Business Glide. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.